Jaguar Wright isn't letting the situation around Angie Stone go quiet. She's determined to uncover and share every detail linked to Angie's death. After Angie unexpectedly passed away last month, a lot of rumors started circulating. Many people began to believe that her death wasn't just an accident, especially because she was reportedly about to speak out against some very influential figures in the music industry. And when it comes to powerful people in that world, one thing is clear: they don't like their secrets coming out. Soon after the news broke, Jaguar Wright stepped in and added more fuel to the fire. She said Angie didn't just die in an accident. She was killed, and her death was part of a bigger plan, possibly even a ritual sacrifice. Now, if you know anything about Jaguar, you'll know she isn't the kind of person to stay silent, especially when it comes to Hollywood secrets. She's known for speaking her mind and calling out shady behavior, no matter who it upsets. So it wasn't surprising that she came forward to share what she knew, or at least what she believed. But now, it looks like her honesty may have put her in danger. By speaking out, she may have attracted attention from the very people she's accusing. It's starting to look like there's more going on behind the scenes than we thought. When news of Angie's car crash first broke, fans were immediately suspicious. Just days earlier, Angie had made strong public statements about her plans to take on certain people in the industry. She revealed that for years, people had been stealing from her, specifically her publishing rights. She said she'd finally found proof and even named the situation as something hidden in the dark for too long. She made it clear that she wasn't going to let it slide. In her own words, she was ready to go after everyone who took what belonged to her. She also hinted that she had a lot more to say and was preparing to tell her full story. Sadly, she died before she could. That's when even more people began to believe she had been silenced, stopped before she could expose the truth. Jaguar Wright only added more weight to those suspicions when she said Angie's death wasn't just tragic. It was intentional. And according to her, it all had to do with the secrets Angie was about to reveal.
What do you mean? They want their payment. They want their pound of flesh. They want you to keep feeding the system. Doesn't matter how hard she worked for it. That's not her money. That's their money. That's what they do. They've been robbing me for years.
Yep.
They stole more money from me than they stole from Angie. I can't stop thinking about Nick Carter. And Aaron Carter, I can't stop thinking. Brother in the Illuminati, brother not in the Illuminati. Brother in the Illuminati commits all kinds of crimes against women, and he's okay, but his brother's gone. And all he wanted was his money so he could push on. Like, how many of these things have to happen in front of the public? Of course they're going to attack, I'll be sure. Of course they're going to attack me. Of course, they're going to attack anybody who's interested in the truth. Of course, they're going to come at us really hard for that first 72 hours and make sure we stop posting, or at least get us flagged from being able to go live so nobody thinks about the details of the fact that we just watched Angie Stone get moved around in real time on her son's birthday.
When I say the internet went wild over this, I mean it really exploded. At first, a lot of people thought Jaguar Wright might be making things up or just trying to stir drama. But then, more details started coming out and everything began to feel a lot stranger. It wasn't just the usual speculation. Some facts actually made the situation look even more suspicious than anyone expected. To start with, it wasn't just one accident that Angie Stone was involved in. It was two, back to back. And sadly, she was the only one who didn't make it out alive. On March 1st, 2025, Angie and her crew were driving back from a Mardi Gras concert in Alabama. They had been in the area shooting a new project and decided to enjoy some downtime before getting back to work. Everything seemed normal. They were riding along I-95 in a Sprinter van, just relaxing after a fun night. But out of nowhere, things took a terrifying turn. The van suddenly lost control and flipped over. There were 9 people inside, and even though everyone was definitely shaken and probably scared out of their minds, none of them had critical injuries. But before they even had time to react or call for help, things got way worse. Just minutes. After the first crash, a semi-truck came speeding down the highway and smashed straight into the van. It was already wrecked from the earlier crash, so this second hit completely destroyed it. Angie was the only one who didn't survive. The fact that she was the sole victim in 2 freak accidents that happened almost back to back had fans instantly suspicious. What are the odds of that happening? And even if it could happen, why was Angie the only person who lost her life? That's when people started to think there might be something deeper going on. One of Angie's close friends, Sharita Murphy, who was in the van with her, spoke out later. What she said added even more questions. She shared on Facebook that they were all lucky to be alive and that Angie had stayed calm through the chaos, which helped the others stay grounded. But she also mentioned something really unsettling: the Driver of the van had suddenly started driving way too fast and wouldn't slow down, even when Angie asked him to. Eventually, the van flipped 3 times before getting hit by the 18-wheeler. That's when Angie was killed. And it didn't stop there. After the crash, people tried to get in touch with the semi-truck driver to find out more. That's when things got even more suspicious. He had disappeared, gone. No answers, no statements. He left his truck behind and just vanished. A former co-worker of his said the man hadn't been responding to texts or calls from his job and had told his boss that he came across the crash too fast and couldn't avoid it. But that same co-worker also said something felt off. He mentioned that the driver had a history with alcohol and that it was strange he hadn't been drinking this time. He admitted he wasn't trying to play detective, but everything just felt wrong. To make it even weirder, the truck driver was reportedly on a route from Mobile to Birmingham. According to data from FMCSA, that route wouldn't have taken him past mile marker 162, where the crash happened, unless he had been told to take a different path or made the choice himself for unknown reasons. There were no mechanical issues reported on the truck before the crash, so there's really no clear reason why he was there at all. Why was he even in that spot on the highway? And why would he go off the grid right after something this serious? All of this started making fans believe that this wasn't just a terrible accident. It might have been something darker. People began whispering about a possible cover-up. The investigation wasn't giving many answers, and the more people looked at the situation, the more it felt like something was being hidden. Was someone trying to make sure the truth never came out? It started to seem like Angie's death wasn't just an unfortunate event, but something much more planned. At that point, Jaguar Wright's words started getting a lot more attention. People began listening more closely to what she was saying. She didn't back down. In fact, she was even more direct than before. In a recent interview, she repeated her claims that Angie didn't die by accident. Jaguar believes this was something done on purpose, that Angie's life was taken as part of some kind of industry sacrifice. She's known for speaking out against the hidden side of the entertainment world, and this time, she was going all in. But the more she talked, the more people started to worry about her too, because by speaking up, Jaguar might have put herself in danger. If what she's saying is true, then whoever was behind Angie's death might not want Jaguar exposing any more secrets. And now people are wondering, will she be the next target? The more details that come out, the more this feels like something much bigger than just an accident. There are too many questions, too many strange coincidences, and way too much silence from the people who should be giving answers. The fans, the public, even some people from inside the industry, they all want to know what really happened to Angie. But the deeper this story goes, the more it feels like the truth is being buried, just like she was. And the worst part is, we might never know the full story unless someone brave enough and safe enough can tell it all.
Surrounding her death, do you question anything that happened there?
I'm saying, in my opinion, and in all of my investigative knowledge for all of the years that I have been in the industry, investigating the industry, and all the harm that it does, it looks like a sacrifice to me. It looks like a sacrifice to me.
Okay.
Why do you need NDAs for an accident? Haven't I asked that question on this couch before?
Right.
Why do you need an NDA for an accident? If it's an accident, it's an accident. Anything said or brought about, there should be no pushback. There should be no hush-hush. A lot of people going missing. That driver's missing now, too. He went to work, turned in his truck, said he was traumatized, and just disappeared.
I can't say for sure whether it's true, but there have been whispers that Angie Stone's family might have been pressured into signing non-disclosure agreements. That's the kind of paperwork people usually sign when they're being told to keep something quiet. An eyewitness, someone who actually helped pull Angie out of the van after the first crash, came forward and said that Angie's family contacted her and asked her to remove the videos she had posted about the crash. Out of respect for Angie and her loved ones, she took them down. Still, something about the request didn't sit right with her. She didn't accuse anyone outright, but you could tell from her tone that the whole thing felt strange. It wasn't just a personal decision to remove those clips. It felt more like she was being told, directly or indirectly, to stay silent. That made some people start asking more questions. Why would the family want that footage gone? Was it just grief? Or were they under pressure? What really threw people off, though, was when the same eyewitness hinted that Angie might have had connections with the Illuminati. Now, the Illuminati has been tied to all sorts of conspiracy theories over the years. especially when it comes to music and Hollywood. Some believe that big names in the industry get involved in exchange for fame, money, or protection, and that leaving or going against them could have serious consequences. So when people heard that Angie might have been caught up with them, the theory that her death wasn't just some tragic accident got even more attention.
Say right now that the only reason I am still alive and Angie Stone is not is because I stopped taking Schluminati gigs.
She later said that speaking out about what really happened to Angie had put her own life at risk. According to her, after she made those comments following Angie's death, some unidentified people came after her and physically attacked her.
I said something, we were attacked immediately.
Right.
Why? You want to know what else I find funny? We got attacked for speaking about the truth. But all of those other entertainers, ain't none of them say nothing. Especially the females who were mentored and influenced by Angie Stone, no different than...
Given that there have been several claims about Angie nearly being attacked because of what she was exposing, it's difficult to brush it all off. It really makes you think about how far certain people might go to keep things hidden, and whether the full truth will ever come to light. Until then, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to watch the next video.